Greetings, Patrick here, Eight Questions With, and welcome to the show. Uh, that's right, it's the first show of the week, and glad to be here. Um, our guest tonight will be filmmaker Matthew Mark Hunter, and if I'm not mistaken, right now, during the time that I've started this live cast to when he gets here, he'll have already made 5 new movies. Uh, Uh, I'm not joking. He actually might have got maybe not 5, but maybe 2. But there's a good chance that he has written, directed, and cast 2 movies and made them and edited them while we're talking here. So hey Jerry, how are you? Um, yeah, Matthew will be here in 15 minutes, and I'm really looking forward to talking with him. He has made over 260 films, and either short films, feature films, videos, or band videos, probably. He's even done a kids show. Um, he has written and directed everything and produced everything that he has done. So we have a lot to talk about with him. And he's managed to do it with a lot of flair. I was looking at his IMDb, and I just found out that he'll be working on Stoner Snakes 2, which I'm really happy to hear because since we like Stoner Snakes 1. Eric, how are you, sir? Yeah, wow. So obviously, the first thing I'm going to talk about today before Matthew gets here is the sudden death of Patrick Muldoon. Wow. Really bummed out to hear that. He was only 57 years old. He starred in my favorite movie, definitely one of my top 5 favorite movies, Starship Troopers. Where he plays Xander, and I've also seen him in a lot of other films too. He did soap operas, he did modeling, and he also did a lot of independent films, and really well too, really well. He was a singer. He played in the band. Yeah, I am. Oh, yeah, thanks. I was just bummed out when I heard that. He's only, like I said, he's only 57 years old, and yeah, he seemed to have, things were going well. It's just, don't know what exactly happened. I mean, that's the first and only time I've ever heard, him ever being mentioned in any sort of medical emergency. So, just totally heartbroken by that, and I do mean that because I really love that movie. That movie is one of my all-time favorites, and one day one of me is gonna kill one of you. That's it's he had good chemistry with Denise Richards too. That was really and of course with all the cast. I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm not trying to be morbid or anything like that, but I do believe that is the first cast member from Starship Troopers to pass. Everybody else is still with us. Um, Lots of TV, including a couple episodes of Saved by the Bell. I actually reviewed some of his family films. Um, uh, uh, Before I got on the tube, I reviewed a couple of his films that he did that were family films. One where he starred with Dina Meyer, and called Fishes and Loaves, which was a very charming movie. See, yeah, and yeah, I knew he had done Days of Our Lives. I remember that. It's really interesting is that when they mention him, they don't mention Starship Troopers. They mention the soap opera, and they mention the modeling, but Starship Troopers is probably the one movie that made him a household name, for sure. So I'm really sort of bummed out by that, and condolences to him and his family, of course. But yeah, 2026 has sucked. But who would ever thought after 2025 that we would be sitting here? here we are in April. We're sitting here going like, man, this is it 2026 or is this an extension of 2025? Because it feels like an extension, quite honestly. Oh yes, yes. Oh gosh, she was awesome in that. Her role, the science teacher. You know what? So many people did not realize that was Rue McCallaghan. They did not realize that was her until I mean, no one knew until I think it got brought up once she started doing the Golden Girls. And then they mentioned her doing the cameo. Same thing with Dean Norris. Nobody remembered that was Dean Norris in there either, who has gone on to bigger and better things. As far in terms of size of roles, and of course Clancy Brown. Gosh, that whole movie is just full of stars if you think about it. Um, Neil Patrick Harris. Say or no, go bother mom. Trooper, put your hand on the wall. If your enemy cannot press a button, if he has no hands, he cannot press the button. Medic. That's right. That's right. She was racing with a Carmen to pilot the ship out. That's right. There was a lot. There was a lot of people that got launched from that. Ton of people. And of course, the main man. When I watched this movie, I tell you what. When I watched this movie, I didn't know anybody in that movie except for one person. Only one person that when I was sitting there watching it that I realized I only knew one actor in that movie, and that was, of course, Michael Ironside. Of course, Michael Ironside steals every scene he's in that movie. But yeah, he was a total badass. After that, man, he just couldn't go no, he just couldn't do any wrong after that. um, so yeah, so of course we're going to be talking with Matthew Mark Hunter here. He is a prolific filmmaker, and we will be overjoyed to talk to him about his creative process. I just am amazed about how prolific he is, and you know what? I think he's one of those. He's one of these filmmakers that loves to make films for the sake of making films. Yes, does he want probably have a big budget to go out there and make a movie that he really wants? Sure. Which filmmaker doesn't? Um, but the thing is, though, he manages to do everything himself, and I'm sure a lot of his movies are definitely show their budget range. But you know what? That doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad movie. Um, I mean, look at his budget. I bet his budgets for his movies are probably about the same as for some other directors that we've talked on about this show here on the show here. I'm sure his movies have done so much better and look much better than those, because there's one thing that he has, based on what I've seen, is that he has a real passion for the craft. He really wants to make the best film he can what he has. He's not looking to cheapen it. He's not looking to exploit his actors. He's not. He's just here to make a good movie. And he's going to talk about that right now because he's here. So let's go bring him up. Good evening, sir.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I caught a little bit of your show an interview that you did with a friend of our show, and that is Doomsday Crypt, John Henderson, and I was listening to one of your interview with him. Um, I'm really happy to meet you. I'll tell you
Oh
the
yeah.
truth. I'm
Glad to
really
be here.
I'm considering that we're going to talk about some good topics, and the one thing I know for sure is that you're going to be honest and forthright, and that's really what I'm excited about because I'm going to ask you some tough questions, my friend.
Okay, I'm ready.
The chat is here as well, and they're here. We're talking about the passing of Patrick Muldoon, who played Xander on Starship Troopers.
I have the first three on VHS and DVD.
Yes, that was actually my first that was actually my first VHS tape I ever bought. First one was Starship Troopers. Of course, a year later, it got eaten up in the VCR, right?
Yeah, happens.
So it was always a crapshoot with a VHS tape. I mean, it cracks me up. Do you still collect VHS tapes, or just the ones you like? You just have what? Do
Oh yeah,
you collect?
I have a lot. I collect. There's like some I'm kind of looking for, but then it's also like if I go to like the Goodwills and I see like some weird tapes like random travel videos or like if there's like a wedding video, I'll grab it just to see what's on it, and like blank
Right.
tapes and just random stuff now at this rate. But a lot of my main ones I have the ones I really want, so I'm good there. So it's just if I see something cool or a dollar bin, I'll pick something up.
It has to be the dollar bin too, because because you have to hold. Yeah, it's like when you buy VHS, it's almost you're buying it, but at the same time you're holding your breath. It's like, okay, I got this tape. This is what I've been looking for. God, I really like to watch it, but what happens if it decides it wants to eat it? And then I just got done spending like 3 years looking for that son of a bitch, and now I finally found it. Now I'm afraid to play it.
Yeah, I
Um,
think I try not to spend too much. I think the most I spent on a tape in the past was I think like around $100. But that was for when I really wanted. But since then, it's just like I'm not gonna go crazy on tapes anymore.
no, it makes me laugh when I see people. They're it's like they're after the tape. They're looking for tapes, and I'm going like, man, yeah, I just found this Holy Grail tape. I spent $40 on it. And I'm just like holding my breath because sure as the sun's coming out tomorrow, it's gonna get eaten sooner than later. It's gonna eat it. Uh, Marshall Bell. That's that's right. It's right. He played the general on on Walter Smith. Oh gosh, we're talking Starship Troopers. It's one of my five favorite films.
Okay.
Um, yeah. Well, that's a good question to start off with. But what are your five favorite films?
I'd have to say The Willies, 1990, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, uh, Puppet Master vs. Demonic Toys,
Which one was it?
Puppet Master vs. Demonic Toys.
Oh, yeah, all right. So you're all right. A Full Moon fan?
Yeah, Full Moon and Trauma fan, big time. And then maybe I've been watching a lot more of Cemetery Man, Delamore Delamonte, so that one's pretty high up there now. And then I'll Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
I just want to know one thing. I like the Puppet Master movies. Now you're a director. You've seen a lot of talent go through, in front of you, casting wise, and on your movies. You ever met somebody who you just knew had it, like was really skilled at an actor and actress, just had it. He
There's
just
it. Worked on um a film company, Bonafide Films, and then the guy's daughter. It was like their first type of film, and they had a it was just the two of them, and I helped on the camera and some blood stuff. But I was like watching her act and stuff, and it's like I basically told her at the end, you're going to be like a future scream queen idea. And we've had her in two of our projects so far, but told her straight up, like, you'll be a future. She's 13 right now, but when she was doing her screams and the acting, I was like, you have a good future in this stuff. So,
mm,
so I know she's in our latest upcoming film, and then she's based out in somewhere out in Ohio. Alyssa Simmons is like really good upcoming young star, I think for sure, off the top of my head. But I've worked with a lot of people who started with our company, and then they've gone on to do higher rated stuff and bigger stuff. So we take that from trauma too, where it's like people have started with us and then they go on to do their own stuff. And I've worked with more kids than anyone else probably in the area.
Now you're still based in Ohio, right?
Yeah, I'm in the Cleveland area.
Okay, okay. My question I was gonna say was, have you ever met somebody who's had it
Oh,
and then didn't do anything with it, or just
oh,
it didn't work?
not really. I know a lot of people who've worked with me who have it. They mostly stay in the area too for it. So, local people, but I haven't really branched out outside of like mostly the Ohio area besides people who do like the voiceover roles for us. So I mean, it's just I haven't. I just see them do other stuff, so I don't think they've just been waiting for it.
I say that because we're talking about Puppet Master, and I love part two. I played part two is an amazing for the Puppet Master. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And they had a potential major could have been just like could have been a huge queen, a screen queen. I mean, she had the look, she had the chops, and you're sitting there watching, and then you go and try to find whatever else they've done, and they really didn't do anything with it, and you're sitting there going like, I wonder what happened to that. I mean, I wonder why they never took the next level. And then and then you just really like to know. You really like sitting there going like, what happened? What was the misstep? Was it the movies that they were in? Was it they got bored of it? They decided not to do it because they didn't feel it was for them. Was it the lack of opportunity where they typecast? Um, I mean, those are all just a lot of questions that a lot of actors ask among themselves. But I suppose that directors do as well. I mean, you're known as a prolific filmmaker. You got over 260 projects underneath your belt, plus 11 more in the poop shoot. Um, do you ever get typecast as saying, okay, it's a Matthew McConaughey film, it's gonna be a certain level, uh, and then they just move on from it because they know that or they think they know that this is your level, and you're not gonna be this is your comfort zone, and you're not gonna get out of that. Do you think that's a fair assessment, or I mean, for them to do, or I mean, do you feel typecasted yourself in the type of movies that you're doing? Because
Uh,
I see a lot of variety in your work.
oh yeah, we definitely stick to our motto, the bloody horror with an 80s twist. So a lot of the stuff we've done is either an 80s feel with things coming to life or lots of blood and practical effects gore. A lot of the stuff has been base level because we used to pump out so many every year since 2017. We've slowly dialed it back a bit to do a little more production quality higher up. Like our newer one is like we were like around here level wise, and then we just amped it up like extremely for the production quality wise and the production design wise. But an overall MMH is a lot of the stuff was me and my friends would shoot every weekend. We just think of an idea and just run and gun, shoot it, upload it, and then boom, another film's done. We used to do like 5 in a weekend back in like senior year and freshman in college. A bunch of my friends, we'd spend a night at the house and then boom, 5 films done in a weekend. And we would do that for a couple bit, and it was more just having fun with it. Like, here's the props we have. I'll buy some props, some blood, and then we'll just go to town and do whatever we want with it. So a lot of the earlier stuff midway through is all like the same type of eye level, but we've been slowly increasing it as we go on now.
Now, when you make 5 films and 5 films, you're talking pretty much like 5 shorts, right? Just
Yeah, it was like and we
have
did
an
like an
idea.
anthology for it. So we did the 5 shorts and we put it into an anthology, and we did that 3 different. We did that 2 different weekends, and then the rest of the time is just like 1 or 2 things a night we would shoot, or we just go somewhere with the camcorder and run and gun without permission at locations. And I think the last time we ran and gun a film was back in 2021 or 2022, where we shot at like a scene in the Marks parking lot, where we cut someone's head off. and it rolled on the ground. And then that was which is a Ohio grocery store, and then we've filmed at like Pet Supplies Plus secretly, holding the camcorder by our waist. We shot at a bowling alley back in the day without permission. We've done a lot of stuff growing up. We only got in trouble once, thankfully.
So basically, you're saying you're a big Bowfinger fan.
Yeah, big big Ed Wood fan for sure too. Ed
Oh,
Wood
Ed
was
Wood too, as
yeah,
well. Yeah.
I did one of my college reports on Ed Wood for guerrilla filmmaking.
How about this? I take it you like Ed Wood, right?
Yeah.
How is it? How I wonder how. I mean, I remember, see when I grew up. See, you're much younger than me, but when I was growing up, Ed Wood was actually he got the label as the worst director in the world. That he earned, mostly for Plan 9 from Outer Space and
Yeah.
Glenn and Glinda. He got that title, and for a long time he held on to that. But I got to tell you, in the last 20 years or so, yeah, I'm not sure if he realizes this or not, but that title has been missing from
Oh god,
his
yeah.
resume for a long time. He is no longer the worst filmmaker ever. I mean, for some filmmakers, he's actually freaking genius. As
Oh
far as I'm
yeah.
concerned.
Yeah, everything he did, I mean, with what you have too is an inspiration because no money set idea. You just do what you can do with it. And even people who have a lot of more of the money, they don't really use it for their production quality of like the sets and props and things. It's more just like pocketed type of money, it seems like.
Now that's interesting you brought up money because obviously when you're doing the filmmaking that you're making, I mean there's two ways to look at it, right? I mean you got and I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it again. I'm bringing it up again because I think he's in Ohio anyway. Um but I recently did a review of I did a review of a movie called Wasilla a few weeks ago. I'm not sure if you know the director or not. I think he's Ohio based. Um, and man, it was just garbage. It was just garbage. And I'm just sitting there going like, wow, this is just terrible. And the thing that it is though is like, wow, he had the talent. He at least in two of the actresses he had, three of the actresses he had, one did a voiceover. And we'll talk about her a little bit later too, because I see you have her in some of her movies, in some of your movies, and I'm like, I was so tickled by that. Uh, um, because yeah, hell yeah. Uh, uh, so I mean, I guess the question I'm going to ask you is, you said you started your movies, you started, a bunch of your friends got together, you threw together an anthology, but to me, I think a serious filmmaker, um, I think they start realizing that I could be here all this time, but it's going to be time for me to move my game up. And you mentioned how you started, elevating your movies up. When did that happen for you? When did you know that you had to either basically shit or get off the pot in terms of being a serious filmmaker, other just than one that's just looked at it and go like, yeah, I'm not watching that ever. To someone whose movies are now they're called favorites.
I know when we did start, it was again, we're all young, so no money involved either. It was just shooting it to go. And then as time progressed, it was more so we pumped out so many so quickly, and you could tell it wasn't like quality wise there. It was more just, you know, mess around and see what happens. And then around 20, we were going nonstop during the COVID. Also, we never slowed down or stopped. But I think once that fully, we did like a pretty decent film during the COVID. But once that ended, it was more skyrocketing it off, where we started working on our big feature based on a short film we did in 2018. And that was like my first crazy spent my own money making the film because it was a failed campaign. It raised like $600, and I probably spent around 5,000 making the film out of my own pocket. and then that was we amped it up. We're thinking, well, we can't just be using the same sets. Also, we do
Right.
we do use a lot of the same actors, but every time I shoot a film, I try to bring in new people as well to just keep increasing it and a little bit different and we also while a lot of we found out during our air fryer campaign, a lot more people would donate to a kind of film that has a lot of the B list, C list stars in it. And we were like, okay, well, we have the actors, but the film is funny and practical horror, but it's not like a top favorite of mine. Whereas when we're doing a film now that's like huge fantasy, crazy sets and things, but we kind of didn't include a lot of no names. It was more so not as um, funded as the other film, and then people keep thinking that our level was like the air fryer slaughter shot on video craziness with all the actors. Whereas I rather have people know me more for like the Nightmares Unleashed 1 and 2 quality because it's more me, more stuff I like. I've evolved to like more of the fantasy horror elements and fantasy type of films these days with the bloody horror in there a little bit.
Sure.
But it's just been, I think once we hit that Nightmares Unleashed 1 film in like 2023 started, that was when I was like, we're going to make mostly crazy good stuff. Try our best to do it with the money we have.
Now and so you have done the fundraising campaign. Um, is that a good tool for for film lovers, for filmmakers such as yourself? Is that a is it a good thing? Or to me, it's like, you make, because I noticed that you say that you make and you edit and you distribute all your films. Are you a more of a guerrilla filmmaker in the terms of getting your films out there? How do you get your films out there to the general public so they know who you are to come back and support your next project?
We used to upload everything onto YouTube, and then a lot of our bigger films we said were mostly on DVD only. And doing the campaigns helped start off by building a small group of people who would like the films and they would donate to the next project and keep seeing how we because you can see the progression increase each time we did an actual like Indiegogo or Kickstarter campaign. And then from that way, it was hold on, I forgot. Oh my god. Oh yeah. So oh my god, I can't believe I lost my train of thought. Oh my god, what was it again? I'm sorry. Oh my god,
It's okay. We'll come back to it.
I just can't think.
Uh, I like the idea. I like what you're saying though. How you're how you with every movie you're doing now, you are bringing in some of the bigger name people, that you worked with in the past. I do think, it obviously helps sell tickets too. When you have someone like a Jessup, Jupiter Flux, or Uncle Lloyd on your movie, if someone picks up a DVD and sees their names on it, they're most likely going to go ahead
yeah,
and spend the money on that more than if they see, Joe Smith and Jane
exactly.
Smith, right? I mean, it's just yeah, it's how it is.
That was a
But this,
big yeah, that was a big way for us to get more um money for the air fryer slaughter campaign, and we went past our goal, and luckily we used some of that to fund some other projects because we were able to put some aside because we went over and we're like, now let's do it to get some of the other stuff going. But thankfully with the names on it, it helped us actually get the campaign rolling. Whereas a lot of the campaigns where I don't use names, I use more local people, no one really has an interest, even though it might have a better story and plot as well. It's just people mostly go for the names these days, which doesn't really help a lot of other local filmmakers.
yes, well, you know what though? But if you treat the names that you got, right, like you've had, like we just mentioned two, and there's others that you worked with, you know, but you've worked with them. You make dignified films. You're not exploiting them. You're not like, hey, we're making a horror film. Drop your clothes. You're
Oh
not
yeah,
doing
no.
that. Yeah, I mean, you're not doing that. You work with a lot of kids. Believe it or not, that's actually when I read that, when I saw that you had done a kid show, I was very impressed with that because I have not seen anybody do a independent kid show.
Yeah, and it's all
Not since the '70s when they had when they had cable access. And even then, a lot of those things were made for $30. But here you are, you did 44 episodes of a kids show. And that's something that someone who's probably really well known as a horror director such as yourself, that's something that people didn't realize or probably haven't realized. It shows a lot of versatility. It's like I could do this, but I only, I'm not going to get hammered into just becoming a one trick pony. I'm not
yeah,
going to do Air Fryer 25. I'm not going to do Amityville 74.
yeah,
I'm going to do Air Fryer, and then I'm going to do something different, and then I'm always going to keep you guessing. To me, that's a successful film director, filmmaker. Is we don't know when someone's sitting there listening to or watching one of your films or discussing one of your films, when they turn around and they say, I can't wait to see what Matthew does next. To me, that's a sign of a filmmaker that's hit because now you got that interest. Like, what is he going to do next? What I love what he did here. What are they going to do next?
yeah.
Um,
When we did that, when I first started doing the kids show, it came with a lot of bad parents who didn't even watch like the first episode and thought it was more so, hey, this guy, he makes all these horror films. He's going to try to brainwash our kids and make a horror kids show. And I kept saying, it's total 180-degree difference where everything's kid friendly, G-rated kid show. We're just reading books and doing lessons. So, and then it also is fun because the kids who are dying in the horror films and are killers in the horror films are also the voices of the puppets for some of them on the kid show too. So it's a good way to use them. And then they also have more versatile too for like their demo reels and their reels in general and resumes. They can say, hey, I've done also acting in horror films and kid content as well. So it helps for everyone in the long end.
yeah, I do. No, do you have that? Do you have that the kids show? Is that available if people wanted to take a look at that, or did you upload that already, or are you selling that through DVD? Because
Yeah,
I think people really I think it's awesome that you did it, and I would encourage any horror collectors that are that want to start because you're always looking for something new, right? Every time you go out and look for something, you want to find something new and different. And I'm telling you, this is new and different for me. When I saw that, I go like, this guy's made over 200 movies, a lot of them are horror movies, and here he is with a kids show. I got to talk about that. I got to hype that up a little bit because that's got to be a lot of fun. And that's why I wanted to know if he had it for sale because I would recommend it.
yeah, that's been our one DVD that sold no copies since I've done it. But a lot of the first we're working on. I'm writing the next season right now. The next 2 seasons I'm writing right now. We're gonna start shooting it this summer to bring. I'm bringing it back again because I want to take a small break from the horror films again.
Sure.
In that way, we had a lot of them come out on YouTube as well. We have a separate kids show YouTube, and we have 3 different kids shows. Our main one is The Wonderful World of Fun. We have a second show that's Spooky Story Time, which is a little more scarier stories, and we talk about the authors. And then we have a Cowboy Jim show, which is a cowboy and his little Sheriff Benny dog, and they're just going through the stories as well. So we have 3 different shows for it, but our main Matthew and Ophelia's Wonderful World of Fun show for like the first 2 seasons on DVD. It's a 3-disc set. It's the first 36 episodes. So I have that on DVD, and it's like I sell it for $20 because it's 3-disc sets and everything I
Yeah.
do DVD wise. I just make it in house too in my room. So I like burn the DVDs, make the cover art, make the disc art, buy the DVD cases, and you do everything in house. That's why a lot of people are saying, "Well, why is your price?" Well, it's because I make everything. I don't go through a third company to make my movies. It's just
Right.
easier for me because then I can also pre-sign everything before I ship it out. Also, but the kid show thing has always been fun, and I was like, "Well, we just wrapped the big film. I'm gonna take a couple months off and do the kid show again." So it's just reading a bunch of books, seeing which lessons I'm gonna teach, and recasting the whole show as well. is what we did. So all the voices have
I
been
hope you bring
recast.
back one of our favorite people, Mel Heflin.
Oh,
Uh,
she's the voice of the new shows. So we recast our original owl puppet, and she's doing the owl from when we bring it back till whenever. So she's our new Ophelia Owl co-host.
she
She
looks like
recorded,
she looks like she'd be
yeah,
a great Ophelia Owl.
yeah. She did we had her do some talking parts for it, and she also gonna do singing roles for it if we include a singing on the kids show. And
Nice.
it's real happy to have her on board because it was more so trying to find someone who has the right voice for it because
I
it's
got to
like
tell
a
you,
narrator on the kids show. So she's reading books, reading stories, giving lessons as well.
I think it's bloody brilliant. I
Oh
think it's
yeah,
brilliant.
she did 2 episodes for us so far with the audio, and I have those locked down already. So it's just once I get the scripts done for the next 8 episodes for the season, she'll be doing all that for us too, which we're really happy to have her. And it's really nice. We go together well when we talk, me and the puppets.
She's a terrific actress.
Oh yeah, I love her.
One of my favorites for sure. Ohio's got Ohio's talent base is ridiculous. People have no idea just how much talent there really is in Ohio. Holy crap, there's a lot of talent. Um, and I mean, I take it that you do all your casting as well, right? So how hard is it for you to cast? Like when a lot of local directors, they put a cast out, they have to go through Facebook and everywhere else, like, hey, casting, I'm casting. You have to beg, borrow, and steal to get to get that happen, to make it happen. But I have a feeling that when you put out a casting notice, I have a feeling that a lot of people roll up wanting to be part of your. It's sort of like Todd Sheets, who's a filmmaker. I'm sure you know who he is, right? Todd.
Yeah, I might know the name, but I don't.
He's done some. He's a. Uh-oh. Todd zapped him. Yeah, Todd is another prolific filmmaker as well. He does a lot of horror films, and really strong, but a really strong filmmaker. And he also is like you in the sense that he has a very loyal, very dedicated crew with him, such as yourself. I have a feeling you have no problem at all. Like I said, when you put a notice out saying I'm casting, I'm gonna, I need this. I have a feeling that you have no problem at all getting people to come out there and audition for you. Um, what's it like for you to audition? What was your first movie that you actually had to audition people for, and what was the experience like?
The first time we fully did a casting call was probably when we did the short film for Nightmares Unleashed, and I had like 4 or 5 people audition, all friends, and a lot of them auditioned for like the same parts. And that was the first time I was thinking, well, I have to pick one of these people, and I made sure to they each got a different part anyhow, but as that went on, I started opening up where we used to get maybe 5 to 10 people audition, and the hardest part has always been letting the people who didn't get the part know they didn't get it, but then we also would say, "Well, can we keep your contact information and we'll contact you in the next film because we're always doing stuff and we'll get you in something else." I always try to, "If you didn't get in this one, I can get you into something else." Because we would drop casting calls where, "Hey, if you wanna die in a film, just reach out to me and I'll write you into the script." So I had some people reach out and I literally wrote them into the film and I killed them off. So I had like a scene where I just jumped from kill to kill and it's just different people who wanted to be in it. And another thing that we always offered is we let anyone really be involved with the MMH family. So we've had multiple people with different physical disabilities and mental disabilities on sets for like their first time because a lot of them can't get gigs. So
Right.
I try to rewrite the script to fit their needs. I've written roles that fit what they can do because we had a kid who had like front walkers and he couldn't really walk right and he wanted to be in movies and things. So I said, "All right, we have our zombie film, so we'll have you be a crawling zombie in the film." So in the film, he's crawling on the ground as a zombie, And then we also have had people in wheelchairs help out on sets. We've had a variety of different ages and any age range, any type of person really we can get on our film sets we try to do. So if someone's like, "Hey, I don't get any luck," can I we'll let first time people always show up. I don't have a problem with that. If they want to get their foot in the door, that's what we love to do too. So our casting calls are saying, if you want to be on it, let me know. I'd be happy to get more people on it. I can do like a bunch of different kills here and there if I need to do a horror film to make sure more people get involved. And I try to get more people involved, and that means more people will share the film, more people will show it to everyone, and it
Right.
gets the name out there more as well. Where if I have like 20 people do this, that's 20 more people who will share it, add it. Or if I do voiceover roles, I've had some people where it's like 50 people did a single line. I put all 50 in the film. That's 50 people sharing the film out there. And I've always been more so about getting exposure versus getting money from the projects, because the more people who get exposed to it is what I'd rather have than making lots and lots of money, because that would come later on. I just need to get more people eyes on this stuff to see, hey, I'm doing this and we're doing it really good for how we're doing it. So that's what we always try to go for as well.
I've commented on this before, that, for a lot of these big Hollywood movies, we always hear about a movie being done for $100 million. And, they'll sit there and say about publicity, we have to get this movie publicized. I don't think that the publicity is, you know, s- like you don't need to sell a Tom Cruise movie. You don't need to spend it. Well, I'm gonna spend $20 million promoting it. No, you don't. You
Yeah,
slap his name on top of it. You slap his name on top of it. You show some clips of him doing some crazy daring shit, and that's all you need. It's just his name is still there. He's one of the last, maybe one of the last true big stars, but you don't have to spend that kind of money in doing it. And for some of the smaller budget movies, you sit there and like, oh, how am I gonna promote my movie? I'm gonna promote my movie. Well, and this is true. What a lot of companies have done, and it's true, is in fact, their brand new show coming out. They're going to redo Baywatch, right? So they're going to redo Baywatch, and one of the things they did to save money is they cast a lot of social media people in it.
uh,
They cast a ton of social media, like some sort of gymnast and some other stuff. There's like three or four or five people that have never acted before, but they're throwing them in there. So their budget now, instead of casting a whole new crew of people that now they can just drop their money down to here. And as far as promoting it goes, the new people will promote it for them. You know, out there in social media, I have 2 million followers. Yeah,
yeah,
we knew that. We knew that when we cast you. Do you think we cast you for your acting? No, because you never acted before. We casted you for the 2 million followers that you're going to be sitting there going like, guess where I'm at.
yeah,
Um, so I like the idea too of getting more and more people into that. I think that's very noble, and I hope a lot of filmmakers do take a note again of this. What a cool concept, to do, to have some kids come out here that have never acted before. You're right. Nobody would give them the time of day. Nobody
mhm,
really would. As far as the big budget goes. Um, hopefully not so much around, hopefully not around Ohio. I would think that some filmmakers were perceptive enough to use them. But you're probably right. They probably don't. Um, but what a great idea. You're right. And they're a one person promotion machine, because they get to
mhm,
be in the movie and they get to tell everybody about it,
yep,
and everybody, and it's not, and the thing is, they get a little bit better, and who knows, maybe you bring him back for the next one, and then the next one, before you know it, they have 10 credits underneath them, and somebody else is going to use them.
yeah.
That's very noble. It's very
You know,
noble. It's very
always
it's
always
very
try to let them start with us, be in a few things, introduce them to other filmmakers, and just try to nudge them into, hey, these are the other people I actually trust as filmmakers in the area. Now you can work with them and they'll help you out there get more roles too. So it's just always helping, because they're the ones that are going to be taking over eventually anyway. So you might as well get them started going. And you want to make, and another thing that sucks too is how many other filmmakers make the films a shitty set for the kids as well, which ruins everything. All you need is one bad film set, and everything that they hope and dream just goes downhill. So we've always been really getting so many parents have reached out saying how good of the set we've been. Other parents said that they had a terrible set on another project and they came back to join us again. So it's just treating the kids with actual respect. Like they're kids, you got to know that, and you got to know how to work with kids as well. So you got to take the breaks. You got to have fun with them when you're not recording. You just got to have a relaxed set. You can't be too demanding, and because they're kids too, they're starting out, they don't know fully everything. So you just got to go slow with it, and it just sucks when other filmmakers ruin it for the younger audience.
Let's see. Let me go here and see what's going on in the chat. See our friend Thomas here, and he's I see. He's talking about okay. He's in Belgium, and he's talking about working on a show called RV Family, and then making pitches. Do you get a lot of people making pitches when to you? They see you and your 260 movie catalog, and do they ever come up to you and say, I got an idea that's a surefire thing? And do you get unsolicited pitches all the time?
I get a
Unsolicited scripts?
I get a lot of those like random emails where people reach out about, "Hey, buy my script or write my film for me." I've I'll help people nearby and that who've worked. So it's like a you help me, I help you type of thing I like to do. Whereas if you
Right.
worked on my film and then like some of the kids had ideas and I said, well, if you want to film your idea, we can film it through our company and I can help you direct it to get a directing credit and just help them on there. And then the only other thing is I've had other friends who had ideas that we brought to life. And we had one author who did some poems and stories. And then I wrote his books for the film for like I rewrote them for the movie, for the screen, and we actually filmed some of them. It's also because he helped out on some like campaigns where he donated and showed his books in the film. And I said, well, we like these two. We want to like I can film them and we can make this real now. So we did that a few times, but I don't really help. Well, I help if they help me. That's the way I do it. So
Yeah,
if
it
someone
has
wants
to
their
be.
stuff done, I just sure this and that. But if as long as you're helping me, I'll help you get your stuff going. And that's the way I like working. Like if we want to shoot on a location, we've shot promo videos for people, and in return, we get to use a location, and we do that a lot as well. So it's just mostly helping other people, helping each other out. Is how I like to do it. I don't like doing the random people who send me this stuff. It's just like if I don't know you like that, I'm not gonna work with you like that. At least introduce yourself better.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, just just I just imagine someone sending you an email saying, "Hey, buy this. I'll let you buy this for $1,000." It's like I don't even know who the hell you are.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
don't.
buying nothing. I rather or like they just gave me that. So like I like directing the stuff that I've written too, because I know what I'm gonna be directing. I don't want to just get someone's random script I don't know, and it's like film this for me. It's like I don't know anything about the story or characters. I don't want to even go
Plus,
near it if I don't know anything.
plus for legally, from a legal standpoint, that's the reason why. That's the reason why a lot of major names never accept shit like that, because it's like I can never, they said that every script that I've ever gotten has always gone through my agency, always through all my manager. I never take anything unsolicited, because you never know. Let's say you just say that you did, and then you go ahead and you make a movie, and the guy comes back and says that was my movie, that was my and then there you go. You
Yeah,
got that you got that that mess. So I get that, but I still don't. It still doesn't stop people from doing it.
no, yeah,
To me, I would probably just sit there and say, I would say return to sender, more than anything else, because I can't, even if I did read it and I loved it, I can't do anything with it because we don't have a legal deal. We don't have a contract. Let's see. Let's see. RV family thinks Scooby Doo mysteries, but with a traveling family national park. See, so okay, that's an idea. Okay. Tom says he always wants to be a movie producer. Well, I tell you what, get over to Ohio. um, so what was the well, when did you know for sure? I mean, what influenced you to pick up a camera? I mean, was there a director or a certain movie, a TV show that inspired you to become a filmmaker? Or I mean, was it just like, hey, I got four friends, let's do something crazy?
Back in 7th grade English class, our my teacher had us, like, write a film for and then we got extra credit if we were able to film it. I was the only one in the class to do it, but I borrowed my mom's VHS camcorder. I got, like, my cousins together, and we shot a little random we shot a Puppet Master fan film, and when I brought
Oh,
that to 7th grade class, everyone in the no one's like me because they're all like my age, so they didn't never watched any of that stuff. They thought, "Did you make all these, or are these all your toys and things like that?" And him thinking, "No, it's based on a movie. I had like the little minifig, the smaller ones, and I just had like dental floss moving them in the scenes. I would like hold them
okay.
from their feet and jiggle them, and then we just shot that with the camcorder. And that was before we knew editing, so it's like stop the button, rewind, and push play to get it again. And then we had to put it on the VCR, and then I had to whatever we shot is how it came out because I didn't know anything about filmmaking. I just got the little camera, my cousins, and we just shot random people dying with the puppets. Um, and then once that
That
happened,
sounds like a lot of directors today.
yeah, and then once that happened, we did another one for a little bit, and then I eventually went. There was like in high school they had a separate high school you could go to with like different programs, and it was a summer camp. I did the first year, which was film, which was like the first time I actually got my hands on like a professional equipment. And then I went there my junior and senior year to Cuyahoga Valley Career Center, and basically I learned everything to get the gears going from Bernie Van Tilburg, who was like my first film teacher for 2 years. He taught me basically everything from the ground bottom up on everything, how to do it. We got certified in like Premiere Pro, so I learned everything those 2 years of high school. And then during that's when we actually got the gang together and started just I was the only one in the class, and then the other people were just friends outside of it, and we just all got together. And I said, "Let's start shooting stuff," and that's really, I think, what got it going was in 2017 was when we started going crazy on the movies.
Did any of your original crew, did they stay with it, or were you the only one that to continue?
From the original group, a lot of stuff happened, and I think during the COVID stuff is when it was a big, like, split from it. One of the guys who was in a lot of the early stuff, we've been friends since middle school, and now I'm also the godfather to his kid, so we still stay in contact, and, now my goddaughter's 4 years old, and I'm throwing her in the horror films too. So it's another a little person and I've been teaching her stuff too, like, while I say action and roll, she'll just say it right after me as a joke, and I give her a little camcorder to, like, run around and film behind the scene footage now for me. And then
Okay.
one of our makeup artists back then I still keep in contact with, but not on film sets, but we still talk. Besides those 2, everyone else has just been gone from the original group.
Yes, yeah. Tom's literally he's following through. He's saying that he says the passion, Patrick, the passion. Yes, more passion, more energy. You have to want it. Yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes wanting it, yeah, wanting it is one thing, but wanting it and affording it are two different animals. Um, Now I noticed that you've done a lot of you've done a lot. I think you've done a lot of music videos for a lot of local bands. Um, how did that come about? Did you go looking for the bands, or did the bands spot you and then say, "Hey, we've seen some of your movies. We like to you come out there and make some videos for us." What was it like? What's the biggest difference between shooting a music video versus say a short film or a feature film?
The first time we did one, it was more so just, random fun for it. The guy had, recorded a song for a movie, and we said, "We'll just shoot something random and fun in the park for the song." And then one of the kids from the film program dropped out after the first year, and surprisingly, he's the only one that I still keep in contact with from that school who still does stuff that I know of, and he does music now, so I did a couple of his music videos with him. and I've recorded some stuff for other friends back in high school, but the that's basically it. I haven't touched too much in it. I've done music videos based on like songs for the movies. So we have an artist record a song, and then I'll make the music video with like clips from the movie with their song as well. And I work with them a lot with that. But the there's not too much because the last full on music video I did with the actual band, it was more of a like gothic horror style. So we used a lot of my props and costumes and blood, and we just filmed it with the camcorder as well for that because they wanted the authentic like look for it. So I popped out the real VHS camcorder and we were shooting with that as well. And it's just more. It was all just fun as well. For me personally, there wasn't too big of a difference because it was just like the same idea as making a horror film for the one band I mostly did it for because it was all horror. So they said bring your body parts and props and just shoot stuff, and I was like, all right, that's just making a movie for me, so that's easy. And then just singing in the background, which is like musical horror. So I'm fine with musical horrors. But it's just I haven't done too many, but it's just more if someone asks me to do it and I know them well, I'll just let's just do this real quick and have fun with it as well.
It takes about what about a weekend to shoot a music video, right?
Most, but we would just shoot them all in like a 1 day shoot. A lot of the
Oh wow,
stuff was like yeah, a lot of this music videos we shot in like one. The last two I really did was just a 1 day shoot, a couple hours, and then that was a
oh
wrap for
wow,
that. Like
wow. Okay.
a lot of the movies too we've done, like even our main short films that are like on DVD, we do 1 day shoots. We try to do as many 1 day shoots as we can with the film and wrap it up like that. But now when we get into like
What's your average shoot days per feature?
because the last two features we actually did, we more like work with the cast and crew on like their time frame as well. We're not going to be like people who like do 1 week straight of filming because everyone has work and
Right.
like real jobs outside of it. So the last feature, which is our big one that we just wrapped up, we started the first shoot was in June of last year and we wrapped in January of 2026. So from May 2025 to January 2026 was how long we took to shoot the last feature. Because we used to do like one shoot every month to do all the because there was so much planning we had to do for the big film, and I do so much budgeting on more props, more costumes, more makeup, and get all that figured out, Airbnbs and things like that. Because we would do like 2 or 3 like weekend shoots when we stay on the farm. Everyone was tenting out in tents and stayed at the house. So it's when we do other features, I try to spread it apart best I can. But like the new short film we have coming up in the late fall for December, we're gonna do like a 1 day shoot for that as well. Go back to that. But features we try to extend it to fit in with the actual cast and crew schedule as well.
If you don't mind me asking, I'm just curious. But what has been your average budget per film from when you first started out to now? I mean, has that always been something that you've been more, like now you're more aware of when you start, sitting down and storyboarding it out? Do you start thinking about that? Before it was just grab the camera and shoot wherever. Now, sort of a little bit more like thinking it out. Do you storyboard your movies now? And how long does it usually take for you to write a script? And do you ever have anybody pass? Do you pass it through anybody for to edit it for you, or to maybe make it a little bit sharper, or is it totally you, 100% you?
A lot of the earlier stuff up until maybe like the last 2 3 years was all fully through me script wise, and I never actually any drew. I never used to draw storyboards at all. I still really don't draw storyboards. I just write the script and then I'll do like a call sheet, call log now. But a lot of the early stuff had no call sheet or call log. It was mostly here's the script, now let's start shooting it. And then for those type of films, they were all again zero budget, maybe like $500-600. But then once you get a couple of those props, we would reuse the same props and costumes for a lot of the films because they were
Sure.
available. We'd have like 10 clown costumes. All right, we'll use a clown costume here, there, and there. Or we need body parts. We'll just keep reusing the same stuff when we started out. And then the last feature, I think The Nightmares Unleashed 1 and 2, for both of them cost me around maybe 10,000 to make both of them, like 5,000 the first one, 6,000 for the sequel, and that's just when we're doing that planning, it's we spend 1,000 of that just on the food budget for catering for everyone, because we're not
Right.
gonna do we don't do pizza every night for, like, feature films because that's just stupid. So we'll have,
Right.
like, one day 1 or 2 shoots, "Alright, here's pizza." One day we did, like, a cookout with burgers and hot dogs and corn and things, but then we also have to put in perspective, we have people who are vegans on the set. So now I also have to buy the vegan burgers and product that they can actually eat. So you have to go through the whole process of what can people eat and not eat. We did like the mini subs one shoot. So we just try to do different because people are going to get tired of pizza every time and then. So we try
Yeah.
to get out of that now, which increases the budget as well. And then it's mostly for the props and costumes that we try to do because we are now making our own costumes instead of Amazon buying for most of them. So a lot of the main costumes in the Nightmares Unleashed film, we spent like probably a $500 to make the scarecrow face. The costume was another 400. We have a jester costume fully made. A lot of stuff's all homemade as well now, so we have to pay for all the materials to make the costume, size everyone, and that's really what I try to go for is the budget for the costumes and props and different makeups because we just really want to get the look really good. So like makeup artists, if they need like special stuff, I'll buy that as well. And that's mostly where the budget's going into is for the production design of the film. But back then we just used to spend none, but even now I've still never drawn an actual storyboard for a film. Like I've never drawn any pictures for any of my movies. I just write the script and then I'll go in the script and like highlight props and costumes I might need and I'll just go from there.
Now, did you get help learning how to write scripts, or I mean, because script writing is still different from from book writing or essay writing or what have you. I mean, scripts are different, and you have to write and you have to write your budget inside your script too, which a lot of people don't realize when they're writing the script.
Yeah, I've been writing where
They have to write
yeah.
you have to write the budget in there.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
try to write now what I can afford to actually, get for it, so when I'm writing now, it's, "Alright, can I actually afford to do this? If not, I'm not gonna write it in the film because then it's just no point." But when I was, like, really young, doing it for just fun and giggles, like, in the 7th grade era, I would just write on the typewriter and then write up random stories on the typewriter, and then once I got into that film program in high school, that's where we also learned the script writing process, and we would all, like, read each other's scripts. We went through cell text, which I still use cell text for all my script writing as well now, and he showed us how to do the character dialogue, different, parts of the script, and then we would all go pick people in the class and would read it, and we would rewrite it and work that way, and then when I went to college for film school, they did that as well again, but then outside of because I used to for, like, the projects in college, I would just submit what I was already filming outside of school, and that was what my film was, I just submitted what we were already shooting on, but a lot of the stuff outside of it was mostly written from my mind, and then just I'll do different drafts. I've had I think for Nightmares Unleashed 1, I had one of my friends do all the dialogue fixing for it to make it sound a little more natural. But even
okay,
that way, but even that, I even tell the people on film sets, I know I wrote this, but if you say something that sounds more natural, just say it. Just tell me if you want to change the line to sound more natural. Just say it how you say it. I'm 100% fine with the cast changing their lines to sound it as long as it's in the same realm and adds up. They can change any lines or they can go ad lib and go crazy, which I've had people do where it's like they change the whole paragraphs and paragraphs, but it actually works still because it's more what they would actually say, which I'm fine with that for everything. But for the most part, I just try to write the film. I'll go through it, read it out loud, or we had a table read for the film where I gave a bunch of friends the script. And I said, here's the part to read. Let's all read it out loud and we can actually hear what it sounds like. And then I'd go back in and change everything that had to be fixed.
right? Because sometimes it comes across as maybe too funny, too campy, not enough scares, stilted. I mean, I think table reads are. I don't know a lot of independents that actually do table reads, or chemistry tests or what have you. I think it's important. I've learned that from doing this show.
Oh
I do
yeah,
think table reads to me it's like yeah, I think you should.
yeah,
Um, and
we even had like for the new one we had like a Zoom call with all the cast at their home who had the script, and we just read it over Zoom together. And then we also had it where, yeah, again, we would just all circle up, read the script. If it sounds weird, just scrap it and do something different. And it's definitely helped a long time with that as well.
uh, I noticed that I've noticed that you did I'm thinking it's a segment, right? Because I noticed you worked on the second Stoner Snake as a director. Now I'm taking that's part of a part of Daryl Hooks is doing an anthology. I take it that's what that is, right? Is it anthology?
We
Or are you directing the whole film?
we did a Stoner Snakes 1 before he made his Stoner Snakes, and then I made Stoner Snakes 2 the same time he released Stoner Snakes 1 for his film. So it's totally different fully, where my Stoner Snakes 1 is more like a short film, mostly only comedy. And then Stoner Snakes 2 that I did also is a longer short film as well with other filmmakers, but it has nothing to do with his Stoner Snakes as well. But I think
Oh my!
we had the same idea, but we did our first one, I think maybe a year or two before his. And then I released the sequel, I think a little bit before he released the first one that he did as well. I know there's a big mix
How
up,
does
and I know we made a joke.
yeah?
He made a joke in his about that as well, because I appear in his Stoner Snakes. But yeah, my Stoner Snakes are totally different than his.
Wow. Would you collaborate with like another a filmmaker, let's say like Daryl? Would you collaborate with them to do something like that? Do you like? I mean, I think it's always risky. I've seen that before, where they'll get 8 directors, and they'll do the remote filming, and then they'll cobble it together. Like I think that Daryl did that too. Is
We
that
I we did that. I did that during COVID, where we did like a ABC's of Death style of thing, but I did it where it was the 12. Yeah, the what did I do? I did like deadly numbers. So it was like 20 filmmakers. Each filmmaker had a number 1 to 20, and they had to make a film based on that number. And that was a pain in the ass doing that, because a lot of the films were not good at all. It was a mess. And then the film's 3 hours long also, which no one wants to watch a 3-hour anthology.
no?
Uh, but I think that was the only real time I did it, besides we did like a mashup of the movies where we had filmmakers take 2 films and put them together and make a new film on those 2 films, and that's not as long. But uh if it's like team working with another film, like when I did Daryl Hook's Stoner Snakes on my clip, I also had him in my Rats movie because we are at the same convention. So we shot
Okay.
stuff for each other during that time. But in terms of like, hey, I'm making this film, I I don't try to do too much collaborating with it on like, if it's like a my passion project film idea, I won't do anything like that. I know for the last 2 films we did, I've been picking my people very precisely on who I want to work with and who I work well with. So, like the new stuff, I work with either Bonafide Films, Deadeye Productions, or Real Life Studios. Those like my 3 I work with who are also in the area. I don't think I'll do another like Deadly Numbers, even though I had planned a couple of them. But it gets harder when everyone has different ideas to do it anthologies like that. So whenever I make my anthologies, it's like 5 stories from my brain, or if it's someone I
Anthologies are
really
the
like.
hardest to make.
Yeah, I mean,
Anthologies are hardest.
I think anthology is the most I've made feature film wise. I made so many anthology movies. Like I even did like anthology short films that are 20 minutes and each short's 5 minutes. So it's like those 4 films are in that 20-minute film. Because I love doing anthology. It's one of my favorite. So I've made so many anthology films. But I mean, if other filmmakers want me in their stuff remote wise, I'll film it for them. I've done that before, especially internationally. I've been in a lot of films with like Dean Houlihan and other filmmakers out in Ireland. So I've done stuff with them and vice versa. They would do stuff for me here. But in terms of like fully like on sets together, if I'm like making a film and I need another person on set, I'll mostly get the people I'm comfortable with to help me film it. But I won't do anything where it's like 20 filmmakers make a each short again. I just can't do it because then you got the time frames, and then you got like you got to get all the release forms from everyone, and it's just a hassle.
Yeah, I would, and I would think that would be remote filming to me seems to be. I don't know. I mean, what's your opinion about remote filming? I mean, is it? I mean, does it is it okay if the person fits if you know if it fits the budget or
Yeah,
I mean, I've
like
seen people that have had money, they've done campaigns and they've raised money, and yet they still do remotes. And I don't know. To me, I'm just thinking, man, remotes are that's tricky. I mean, I understand it if you only have a couple $1,000. I get that, but when you have, to me, it's like when you actually lay it out and plan it out. I don't know. I don't know if remotes actually work that well for horror. What do you think?
I definitely think it depends as well because we've done like a lot of the random fun films that we do just for shits and giggles for free. I'd be like, "Hey, you want to be like a newscaster in this random YouTube film coming out? Submit a clip in it." And then I do that also where it's like more people to share the film if it's like a YouTube based film. I think the only time we went full on remote roles for the film was the air fryer slaughter movie. And that was also through the campaigning also where it's like, hey, remote role for these actresses or pay to have a remote role. But it's very rarely I do that because a lot of times if they want to be a remote role, I'll just do like a YouTube film, have them send me something, and I'll just upload it like that. Because we did that for like stoner snakes. People died at home with their snakes. They just sent the footage in. Yeah, for our stoner snakes, I should say. People would film at home with dying by snakes, and I threw it in the film. I just have to make sure they film it horizontally, and do different types of things like that. But a lot of the other remote stuff is like voiceover remote roles, and I've had many people do like I'll have like a film. It's like, hey, I need a bunch of people to be like a computer virus talking, and it's a free thing. You just submit your voice to be in it. You're not gonna get paid, but it's also a free role. I had like 40 people submit to it. That's 40 people who have their line in the movie. They can hear them voice. I got to make 40 IMDb credits for each person, but then that's again 40 people to share it. But those are the films
Right,
where it's like no money is spent on it. It's just free fun to do. No one's getting paid. I'm not making any money on the stuff. But if you want to just have your voice in a film, send it in and we'll get you in it. In terms of like if I had like a crap ton of money, I definitely would try to mostly get people to show up on the sets.
right,
But even
right.
like a lot of my big films, I try not to do remote roles if it doesn't fit it because I want to be more focused on the story. And if it doesn't fit the story, I don't want people randomly popping into the film. But when we did the Nightmares Unleashed 2 project that came out or is about to come out, I could have had people, but it's like the story is so close to my heart and like my magnus opus that if I see one random remote role pop in the film, it's gonna take everyone out. And I don't want it to disturb like the fantasy horror elements. I want to keep it more storyline based than just the money's nice, but I'd rather just have the film be better than just throwing in random remote roles.
Now I'm noticing that I'm scrolling through it and I'm looking at your air fryer slaughter, and I clicked on that, and I see you definitely got some names. You got Uncle Lloyd, and you got Jessa, and you got Mel. Uh, uh, oh, oh, wow. Okay,
Yeah,
so
air
you
fryer
got
was our
Mel.
one.
You got Mel as Poppy Butterington. She took that. She's okay. I guess that's her character now, right? She
Yeah,
created that.
that was the first time she did that character.
It's an
So
awesome
we were the
character.
first ones to create that character for her as well. So we teamed that's her first film as Poppy as well. Her first time debuting her was an air fryer as well. For the Poppy character, came from the air fryer slaughter project. But that's like the film that when we did it, we're thinking we'll get all the indie people involved in this film. And it's again sold the most copies on DVD for that reason alone. Whereas when we jump to our next film after that one, it's like we don't have any. And it's more like, well, we're just trying to keep it more storyline based than just throwing in a bunch of cameos. But for Air Fryer Slaughter, it does fit because Air Fryer Slaughter is just a bloodbath comedy shot on video film. And that was just,
You have over 70 people involved in it,
yeah,
acting wise.
we definitely like that was hard for the remote roles too because once they send it in and it's digital, I have to record it on the VHS camcorder, and then put it on the VCR and export it out digitally so it actually fits the theme still too. So it's another whole process when you're shooting on video for it. But it's definitely was a fun one to get a lot of names involved in and people to share it, and it's been talked about a lot for that film. But I've been slowly trying to, while it sells the most still, it's one of the ones where I'm trying to get away from and try to get more
Right.
people in our more story focused, crazy fantasy stuff.
Well, I like the idea you have Jessa in here too, and she's a keeper. Both her and Mel. I thought when I saw Mel when she did Stoner Snakes, I was really captivated because I'm going like, how the hell do you make such a beautiful girl look absolutely freaking terrifying? Because she's terrifying in that. I'm like sitting there going like, it's one of those things where it's like, man, that's a really pretty girl, and she came up there and asked me to dance. Would I do it? And I'm going like, oh hell no, I wouldn't. Because she's scary as hell. And congratulations for that. Um, yeah, I don't know if I knew that or not, but I definitely know the name. I saw Poppy. I saw her on there. You guys just need to do Stoner Snakes.
Ye-
You should do Snake versus Snake.
yeah,
What did you think of his Snake movie?
I haven't fully seen it yet. Also, by the
Oh
way,
my
as
god,
well, I have
it's
to
so
watch it still.
it's so
Um, yeah, I have to watch it still. I'm so behind on so many films I have to watch. Um,
oh my
it's
gosh,
just
yes.
when you're making so much content and trying to get it out there too, because I have to do I mostly work, come home, and then I'm on the computer doing film stuff late at night, and I do the same thing the next day. So I'm mostly just trying to focus on getting a lot of my stuff that's still in like pre-production or just still in the editing and just try to release it at this rate. Just trying to get the stuff out there before I start jumping on more projects. That's why we also are taking a small break from the stuff horror film wise to focus on the kids show and just pump out the older stuff that we have to release still. But it's because I know another thing that we also did was we did the pool toy shark frenzy, and one of the backers of that campaign reached out to me after we released it and said, "Hey, there's a film that came out after you again called Antiville Pool Shark Pool Toy Frenzy or something." And it was like the same title, but they threw Amityville in it for the pool toy idea. And I said, "Well, it's happened already once, so we'll just keep it going. It's fine with me."
I'm noticing some of the movies you got coming up, and I mean, some of them I can sit there and say, yeah, but some of them I'm looking at and going like, are they going to happen? Because to me, it seems like these are the type of movies that you're trying to move away from. Are some of these just? I mean, have you ever gotten to the middle of a movie, or maybe the first quarter of a movie, and just realized that it's like, I really want to. I really want to make this movie, but I really want to restart from scratch. I want to go back and rework it and bring it back, to in front of the camera. Um, Killer Poop 3, Night of the Living Poop.
Yeah,
I,
we had we released Killer Poop 1. We have we had Killer Poop, we had Amityville Poo, Killer Poop 2, but someone for some reason deleted the whole um IMDb for part 2 off of it. And that's the film where we had all the footage shot for part 2 as well. And then at the time, the hard drive that was all on, the hard drive went to crap, and I had to pay like 4 grand to get the hard drive fixed and all the footage back. And I do have it all back, and it's just one where it's just like it's been sitting in editing still, and I got to release it still because a lot of it's been edited, and we've had like teasers come out for part 2. I mean, it sucks that someone deleted everything off that one, but Amityville Poo Killer Poop 2 was supposed to come out, and then we had part 3 planned as well. But I know a lot of the stuff in the pre-production IMDb, it's where the scripts are written as well. So like the fairy tale film's been written, a couple of the other stuff has been written. The one that we're doing next is the horror at Hanukkah. So we're gonna do a Hanukkah horror film coming up next for the short films. And
okay,
that one we're doing like
because
full.
you got some Krampus films out there. I saw that.
Yeah, I've done 5 Krampus films. I played Krampus all 5 times, but they look different every time. So we do a lot of like Christmas style horror, but I said, let's take a break from the Christmas style horror. I'm going to do a Hanukkah horror. So we I designed a Hanukkah demon look. We're gonna have like I don't want to say what it is because I know someone will steal the idea if I say what the demon looks like. But we have the drawings.
It looks like Stoner Snake.
We have the drawings showed up. I sent it to my makeup artist. I said, "This is what I want the demon to look like." I'm gonna get my costume designer, my grandma, to size up
I love
the
that.
guy at the movie premiere, and we're gonna get his costume going in time. But I wanna so bad show what the demon looks like, but I know once I release what the demon's gonna look like, Hanukkah style, there's gonna be another Hanukkah horror film coming out that looks exactly like our demon again.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so it's just really saying, but it's a
So,
film I've always had the
I think I think it's actually a compliment to your skill, and the fact that people are now doing that.
the one that
Or
surprised me the most.
they're influenced by people.
I know the one that surprised me was when I did the Pool Toy Shark Frenzy, and then someone said, "Hey, there's another film called Amityville Pool Toy," and I'm thinking, "Okay, great." I mean, and they showed me it was coming out like after ours too, which I'm sure they've never even heard of me also, but it just gets to the point where it's just like, I
Did you ever see a movie called Wheezy Shark?
yeah, I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
Hold on, I'll introduce you to the star of it. I have a Wheezy Shark. This is
Nice.
it. This is basically what it. And Brett Kelly made it. Love Brett Kelly. He'll never come onto the show though.
Yeah,
I always said he'll come on the show long enough to tell me to go fuck off. And then
yeah, when
uh,
we did the pool shark toy, I actually had the pool shark toy with me as well. And that's just like this little guy. But what we did after is because it's voiced by Lloyd Kaufman as well in the film. So we actually had Lloyd Kaufman sign the pool shark toy, of course.
nice.
So
You can't beat that.
I have the screen used. I have both the screen used ones, but I haven't signed this one, so it's never gonna go
Now,
anywhere.
where did you get your shark at? Did you have that custom made, or did you
The
just
pool
find
shark
it?
toy actually came from Walgreens. They had like a bunch of them at Walgreens. No, Walgreens. I went to Myrtle Beach to shoot footage for Killer Poop 2 for random fun at the hotel because there was another. I'm just gonna shoot. If we're going to Myrtle Beach, I'm gonna film something for fun there. And I think
Sure.
I know I filmed another like a hotel film where the hotel takes over of spirits. I shot at the hotel room. When everyone was swimming, I stayed in the hotel room for a couple hours and shot something there. So I do that a lot. If we go somewhere, I'll just film a movie. But the pool shark toy came from there in the gift shop, and then I found another one at Walgreens. So they're both in the film. Um, that's how some of the props come from. But I know when we did our Slaughter S'mores film, we had like Nazi UFO marshmallows, and I had someone make the original Nazi UFOs for us to put marshmallows in it. So those are all custom made. Um, I've had I had a couple other custom made props for different films, but it's just a hit. It's just if I like that's why I have so much stuff where things come to life. Like washing machine came to life, a toaster came to life. It's just stuff
Air
that's
fryer.
around me and thinking I'm just gonna bring it to life and then just have it kill me. So a lot of the stuff is things coming to life and killing me or other people, which is what I've done before. But it's another thing where I'm trying to like I've done so many. I'm probably gonna do one more for like the vacuum cleaner, and then it's mostly just focusing on like the horror fantasy stuff I want to mostly be producing.
We're talking here in the chat. Says you can't avoid similar ideas. And IMDb is snobbery. Yeah, yeah, I'm with you. That I was going to ask you. I mean, of all the movies you see, do you ever get discouraged by by critics or by like you go to IMDb and you see your movie's got like a 2.2 and you know that it's better than that. It's more fun. Is that fuel for your creative fire, or do you see that over and over and sort of get like it's like because it's not
Well,
really it really sort of sucks. It's like
no, yeah, because like even for like the new film, it hasn't even come out yet, and it has a low rating, so no one's even seen
right.
it yet. So it's mostly just people who are just I used to say when were actually pumping out a lot at the time, it was mostly people who were more, I'd say, just jealous about it, or people who got pissed. And a lot of the stuff is like so many like one stars. It's like whatever. But the thing I really love the most is when they're writing reviews on IMDb and it's really crappy. Like it's saying how bad the film is. I'll use that as my promotion now. Like if they're gonna say the film is shit, okay, I know it's someone saying the film was like a film you would find in the bargain bin at your local Walmart. And in my head, I'm thinking that's what I actually want my stuff to be like. Is I want to find my film like in a random $5 bargain bin. That would be awesome. I made it. That's what I
Right.
think. But I'll throw like people who say, "Man, this film is blah blah blah. It's bad." And it's like, well, that's going to be I'm going to coverage it and advertise that now too. To me, it's just good publicity. Also, it'll get more. Some people will watch it just for that too. Where it's like, oh, I got to see how bad this film is. And it's like, all right, I'll take another viewer. That's fine with me. But the review stuff, I don't care about anymore. I mean, it's just like everyone has different opinions. Like I can say a film sucks that people love, and they'll be mad. I mean, you can, at this rate in the day, it doesn't even bother me anymore. I'm so used to it. It's like, sure, they hate it, but I really don't give a. I don't care what the hell they think. It's my thing.
Right. Now, let me ask you this: if you get if you could get a chance to, if you could get a chance to shadow three directors, what three directors would you like to shadow, and see how they make their movies?
Lloyd Kaufman, Charles Band, and God, it's bad. I can only think of it's the people you wouldn't even like. Most people wouldn't even think. And then I'll just. Oh my God, I can't think of his name. Oh my God. Uh, oh my God. What is it? John Carpenter, if I had to pick a third one, but like I've had Kaufman in my stuff before, like a lot of my films, and I've always wanted to be like, I want to get directed by Kaufman. And like I worked on a full moon film, but I was like, I want to get directed by like Charles Band type of thing too. Because
Man,
those are the two.
I love Full Moon early days. Early
Yeah,
days
early
Full
days was
Moon is,
awesome. I mean, that's
oh
one
my
of the
god.
that's one of the main reasons I make films with like dolls and toys coming to life is
I mean,
because of
I
them.
love it. I
Like
mean,
one of my
from the
tattoos
first,
is even dedicated to full moon also. It's just everything. But yeah, definitely.
it just seemed like they sort of like, Trauma. When I grew up, Trauma was big. Trauma was big. And I don't know what it is. Like me, I look at it like, I look at Trauma now like, that's, and no offense to anybody, please, not hopefully no one will, but I sort of look at Trauma as like horror for the beginner. If you really want to get into horror, you just want to learn what it's about, if you're a fan of independent horror, then I definitely recommend Trauma. um
Yeah.
then after that, then I would go to the Full Moon, because Full Moon, there was a time there that their shit, they were on point. I mean, you go back to their early catalog and you
Yeah.
see how many big stars were actually in their movies. People are blown away, because most of the time now they're thinking about Evil Bong, or Ginger Dead Man, and they're going like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
It's like, well,
I've always been I know I'm younger, but I've always watched like the older stuff growing up because my parents got me into it and
Right.
my uncle got me into Troma and Full Moon, thankfully, because Troma and Full Moon's what is another reason I'm a filmmaker. Besides the Willies is the film that like really got me going. But I mean, I've got stuff on Troma now, and it's just like I don't care about the money. I even cash any of the checks I've gotten from them. Like my first check was like $28 from Troma, and I just framed it. It's more about the exposure for me. Like if my stuff's on Troma, people are watching it. That's what I care about. I don't really care about the money for like that's why we're trying to do like get our bigger stuff on like Tubi and stuff, where I know I'm not going to make any money, but I don't even care about that. I just want people to see my stuff. That's where
Right.
I'm at. It's just like money's awesome, but you need people to see it to get the money.
Now, have you managed to put it, because as far as distributing goes, have you do you have a distributor for your films, or are you still doing it all by yourself? And do you have any films on any of the streaming services right now?
The only streaming service we have stuff on is Troma Now. I have 10 of my films on Troma Now. Um, I
Okay.
do all my distribution. I do all the movies from home. That's the biggest thing, movies and film festivals. So I have like so many boxes of DVDs because I have like 30 of my movies on DVD. Some are like the where it's like a combo pack where it's like here's 10 shorts on one DVD. So I do that as well. And
Right.
then trying to figure out the film hub idea for like two or three of the films that are like my bigger production based quality ones just to get it out there. I'm thinking in my head, it's like I don't really like whatever films. I'm still gonna put it on DVD and sell them myself also. And then I'm just trying to get it out there on my own as well. I'm not really trying to work with someone that's gonna be like, yeah, they can sell my film, but it's like I want to be able to sell the film to myself. And if they're taking a cut of my film, it needs to be at least a 60-40 cut or 50-50 cut. I don't want no one who's saying, you'll get 20% of your out of the 80%. It's like, no, if I did all the damn work from writing,
Right.
filming, camera, editing, and everything else in between, it's either I'm going to get 50-50 or I'm doing a 60-40 because for all the time I spent, I just will sell the DVDs myself and hope to pray that at different like events and conventions I get something. That's why I'm trying to do like the film hub for like my big 3 films, get them out there and people can reach out to me for seeing the other things I've done.
Right. That makes sense. That
Plus,
makes
I don't want
sense.
someone because I know I worked with one filmmaker and I did the poster for them, and then they got a distributor and they wanted like 15,000 different changes on the poster. And then other people who I've seen who like get a film distributed, their film poster turns into like AI slop shit. And I don't want to touch
Mhm.
anything with AI with a 40-foot pole ever in my career. So it's just like it's just the risk. I don't want something to ruin and tarnish my film from a different distributor that's gonna ruin it for me.
No, I agree with that. I totally do. So what is next? I mean, what movie is coming out next for you? Um, and what do you see happening for the rest of 2026?
For 2026, what we're doing now is we have a couple movie premiere we have a movie premiere coming out in on May 30th at the local theater. 60-foot screen, digital IMAX can fit 350 people. I paid for the theater, rented it out, so now it's just hopefully people fill it up to get some of the money back. And
Right.
then that's for our Nightmares Unleashed 2. The Kickstarter is still live for like less than 24 hours left, but I'm still gonna have it out there for like afterwards for like buying the DVDs and things. Nightmares Unleashed 2 is the one premiering May 30th. We have Nightmares Unleashed 1 showing at like Gross Fest in August coming up and a couple other film festivals. So those are the two
Uh-oh.
film
You just mentioned the magic word. Gross
yeah,
Fest.
so
Tom and
we
Tim, huh?
so we have Nightmares Unleashed 1 showing there, but part 2 will be done also, so I'll try to have DVDs of both to sell. And then those are like the 2 big films on the on the festival circuit I'm working on. And then our Bowling Alley of Death is part of that. And then the next big thing I'm probably going to shoot is the horror at Hanukkah film, short film. Probably try to release it in December during the season for Hanukkah.
Sure.
And I'm sure it'll be, some people may not like it, might rub people the wrong way, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. Again, I've done so many Christmas things. I'm jumping to a different holiday now. Um, and then after that, it's mostly going to be the kids show in the summer, and then jumping right back to Hanukkah
That's
for
gonna be a lot of fun. I'm actually looking forward to that. I
yeah,
think that is such a cool idea, and I just really like to see it. And
yeah, I have
yeah,
to write like the last 3 episodes of the new season, and then I'm gonna send it out to Mel and all the other voice actors, and then they can send me
okay,
back their puppet audio lines. And once I have all the audio, I'm gonna start shooting it because I need the lines first because I have to talk to the puppets. And it's easier if I
right.
just hear the actual actors talking to me than me just talking to myself. Even though I voiced
Something
2 of
there's
I
something
voiced
really
2 of them.
cool. There's something really cool about seeing somebody involved in horror. Like, Vincent Price was great at this. He would come up there and do something non-horror, and it'd be so cool that you would just like, yes. I can see that with Mel, like playing Ophelia Owl. everybody knows her as being a screen queen, but seeing her do a kids show, I think that's brilliant.
Yeah, it's gonna
And
be
I wanted to ask you one other question too.
yep.
I did want to ask you one other question. I asked you about the directors. Now, I was going to ask you about the actors. I'll make that my last question to you tonight. Is if you could have a dream cast of 8 actors, male and female, doesn't matter. Um, what 8 actors would you pick for your ultimate horror
Oh,
magnus opus?
see, I talked about this with some of the people when we did the first Nightmares Unleashed 1 and 2. It's like if I were to remake it again, I was kind of thinking like for like the mad scientist, I'd want to have like Robert Englund play that part because
Okay.
originally I wanted either Kaufman or Robert Englund to do the role, but I got someone equally as great for that locally. And then, but definitely I'd want to work with Robert Englund, even though it probably cost me an arm and a leg. um, when I did the first Nightmares, I also reached out to not Mike, Grant Kramer from Killer Clowns from Outer Space. He's one I wanted to work with as well because it's one of my favorite films. So I
Right.
reached out to him. Phil Fondacaro, I've been getting in contact with his wife here and there. I'm trying to get him involved with something MMH because he's one of my easily top 3 I want to work with in general is Phil. He's been a dream of mine forever. Ira Heaton's always been one of them, but luckily we got him for Nightmares Unleashed 2, thankfully. Uh, I mean, oh, I did reach out to, can't think of his name, but he played the Fly Boy in the Willies. But I also like to reach out to like Sean Austin or any of the people from the Willies and get them involved in something as well. Um,
Okay.
Definitely, I see the comment about Christopher Lee, which would have been a sweet voice. But same for like Vincent Price has always been one of the top ones for me as well. Just
Yeah.
for the voice and 'cause I met his daughter and I was telling him her how awesome the dad was and stuff. But I'd probably say like Johnny Depp just for the Tim Burton feel. He had a couple like Tim Burton people involved as well. Uh, but yeah, I mean, name wise, I'm not too good on the names, but it's just yeah, I mean, it's not too many I can think off the top of my head for it. But I definitely say if anyone on the comments want to be in a film voice wise, I'll get you in on the kids show though. Lend your voice to a kids show on one of the book readings.
That is cool. I wish I could get the cheetah on there for a book reading. The cheetah and the owl. That would be Ophelia Owl. That would actually be a dream. It's too bad. Too bad Stoner Snake's rated R because that'd be fun to have a Stoner Snake come on and crash the party.
I originally was gonna because I have like a bunch of animal puppets for the show, and I have like
Yeah.
3 snake puppets, and I was tempted to bring one of them on to like talk, but then it's also like the puppets that we had in Stoner Snakes. It's like a little too close to the Stoner Snakes movie, and I also
Right.
and 2 of the Stoner Snakes puppets are the same ones used in Daryl Hook's film as well. We had like the big green one, and I had another one that we both have the same puppet of for our films as well. But I think I have
Yeah.
like
He
3.
he, he
I
kept
have
he
like
kept one of his for
yeah,
sure.
I got all 4. I have all 5 of the snakes from our film for us, my Stoner Snake. So I have 4 of the puppets and 1 of the normal ones. But
There
I
needs to
keep
be a battle.
I
We
because
gotta make that happen.
I
The
know
battle of the
he also did a bunch of cameos in his as himself in other parts, which
yeah.
I did as well too for mine for like Stoner Snakes too. I play like 3 or 4 different roles as well. I
I
mean,
think
you
that
can
was a
kind of like
budget thing. That's a
yeah,
budget thing. Yeah. He
because
said he did it because he had, he had to step in there because there's nobody else. So I get it. I mean,
yeah, because
I think Brendan Steer did that with Velocipaster. He had to come in there and have you seen Velocipaster?
I've seen the poster for it and things like that, but I haven't seen the film either. I'm so behind on a lot of indie
It's
stuff, but
genius. It's
I'm
genius.
behind on a lot of the indie films. I
Yeah,
mean I backed some and I have the DVD still, but it's just like it's the time frame for me because I'm still trying to watch
right.
other stuff I have in the I have so many movies and VHS tapes I haven't watched yet. It's just such a
I don't
doing everything
I
else.
don't even want to go there. I
Yeah,
no, I'm
that's a
not.
whole nother hour talking
Yeah,
about that.
I actually, I've had I usually I get all my movies at my local library. They sell them, and I've had like 5 weeks, 6 weeks in a row where I've had really good haul videos. And I woke up today and I'm going like, man, I think I actually need a break because I've gotten every time I've gotten like the last 2 weeks, I've gotten like 50 movies, and I'm going like, there's no way I'm watching 50 movies. So
Oh
why am
yeah,
I going?
yeah, because one of the local libraries by me, they have it where it's like 25-cent DVDs, 25-cent Blu-rays, and then they have like the kids sections, like 10 movies for $1. Now for the
Yes,
kids section stuff, I'll buy every single kids DVD. I'll take the covers out and the discs, and then I have blank DVD cases to put my own movies in, and it's cheaper than buying them
right,
in bulk. And then I'll just
right.
sell the discs and stuff like on eBay as a lot. Like here's all these kids things because I spent maybe like I buy 50 of the kids DVDs. That's 50 blank cases I have for my own movies, and then the rest I paid what $5 for that. That's like a steal for that, and they're all different color ones too, so it's even better because like when we do the Hanukkah DVDs, we're gonna do all blue disc DVDs, like blue cases
Nice,
for it. So it's gonna be
nice.
fun for that one. But I
Uh,
mean the movie app thing, I have too many movies on there. It's bad.
Tom's mentioning. He says here. Let's see. Let's see. Found a great. He found a great ASMR artist. That could be a horror actor. Great voice, great face, great presence. Let's see. He also says he doesn't watch any horror movies, but he does love movies like Good Boy. You're saying that because I want to see that movie so bad. I'm, uh,
Was it the
I'm
dog one?
yes.
I wanted to see
I,
it too, but I wanna see it so bad because
me
I know there was
too.
2 of them that came out, but I wanna really see the
I
dog
really want to see Good Boy.
because I know he won an award too for best actor as well. I
Yeah,
was like, "Yeah, I
yeah, he
want I
won an
wanna see this
award.
dog because I've killed my own dog in a lot of my films too. So
Oh,
I've
do
killed my
you?
dog a few
That's a
times,
smart
but
thing.
yeah.
People respond to that. If people. Yeah, I know a lot of people do that too. There's some really interesting, quirky things that directors do. I think one of the funnest I've ever talked to was this one guy one filmmaker, who always put a box of Pop Tarts in every one of his movies. You have to find the Pop Tart, the
So
little box of Pop Tart.
that's how we used to do it with, I used to do like an apple because my first real short film was apple, so like someone might be eating an apple. But I
Right.
jumped to, Bozo the Yellow Clown, who's, like, now the mascot of the company, and he's been in, like, almost you can see him in the background of most of the films. He's killed people, but a lot of the times it's just, like, find the clown in the movie. He's in our bedroom or just sitting there somewhere. So now
Okay.
he's like the mascot of the company now, and he's, like, on all the merch, and then
Right.
he's killed people, but a lot of times he's just sitting on a bed or he's, like, on the ground somewhere, and it's just like, "Well, there's Bozo again." So that's why I bring
Oh,
him everywhere too.
nice. Good to have a mascot.
Oh, yeah.
All right, boys and girls, we have hit our point with Matthew Mark Hunter. We'll definitely have you come back. I'm so excited you're going to Gross Fest this year. That's good news to hear. Thank you so much for coming up here and talking with us and answering some tough questions and talking about the process. Tom, thank you for being a one-man chat. I appreciate it so much. Without you, I don't know if I have a show. Uh, well, hopefully everybody will enjoy the replay. And then if people want to get a hold of you to buy one of your movies, how can they do that?
The best way to get a hold of me for buying the movies is Instagram, MMH Productions, MMH_productions, or just sending me like a direct message on Facebook, Matthew Mark Hunter. That's like the two best ways. I mean, if you want to do hunter.matthew88@gmail.com for my email, or if you reach out, if you just type on Kickstarter Nightmares Unleashed 2, you'll see my name on the Kickstarter, and then you can like send a message that way or buy one of the movies there as well.
That sounds like a great thing to do. I want to thank Tom and everybody else that came out in the chat for hanging out with us. We will be back here on Thursday. In fact, I'm sure you probably know our next guest coming up. Our next guest is on Thursday. We'll be talking with Mia Katz. Have you met Mia?
I have not.
Oh my gosh, you want to meet her. She is terrific. She is a very good actress, and she's got pipes. Let me tell you. We're gonna be talking with Mia. It's been a couple years since we've had her on the show, but we're gonna talk to her, catch up with her, and she is doing a lot of live theater as we speak, which I'm very excited for, and I can't wait to talk to her about it and catch up with what she's been doing the last couple of years. And then, of course, next week we're still working on next week. We have uh, Mindy Doherty will be with us, and she'll be talking with us. Yes, can't wait to talk with her as well. She is going to be talking about her career, and that will be at 8 o'clock too. As far as everything else goes, you guys already know it. Um, Matthew, stay right where you're at for just 1 second. And to everybody in the chat, thank you so much for your support, and we will see you Thursday night. Peace.